Uh, are we live? Are we? Hey, idiot. Are- Hey, I think we're live. Hey. Hello, everyone. Yeah,
Yep.
why didn't you tell me, dummy, that we
Two
were
idiots
live,
are like,
man?
I didn't notice. It's like, what's going on?
Dude, you're my backup. You got to tell me when we're live. Hey, oh, hey, there's people here in the chat too. Hey, everybody. Hey, Timothy, Linda. Who else we got? We got
You
Claudio in the
got
house.
you got YouTube open in the background?
I no, man. We got Monique from Canada. Etta Wolf. Hey, man. Thank you and welcome. No, man. I'm looking here in the chat. Monique from Canada. Etta Wolf. Hey, man. Why are you? What are you doing? It's kind of idiotic, isn't
Well, this is what happens when you only have two of the three idiots.
it, dude? Yeah, we're missing an idiot. We're missing the weatherman. We're missing our good buddy who could not be with us tonight. But maybe Daniel might be watching. Hey, Daniel, if you're watching,
Well, I
we
said
miss
he
you,
was
bro.
going to watch for a few minutes.
So hopefully he will. Hey, guys, welcome to another Sounding Off podcast. I am your host, Eddie Gonzalez, my co-host in Crimea, Kevin Michalizzi, and we're missing a third dummy who could not make it this evening, but he's with us in spirit. So hello, Joe B from PA. How you doing, Mr. Wonderful? Здравствуйте, everybody. Yeah, First Corinthians is in the house. Did we get
Muddy
a chance to go over
water.
to Store City on the north side of Moscow and get a... No, I did not. No, I did not, but I'm going to look into that. And I'm going to star this so we can
I
come
see
back to it later.
Timothy. I wonder if Jay is hanging around out there somewhere.
Oh, maybe so. Maybe so. Dave Murray. Dave's in the house, man. Welcome, guys. Appreciate it. Glad you all made it. We actually not even a minute before we went live, we were like, there's nobody in the chat. Nobody's going to show up. YouTube has just like cut us off. It's not, hey, Dan, wild-siberia's in the house. What's going on, man? Welcome, brother. Thank you. So, yeah, we were thinking nobody was going to show up. And here we go. Here we go. We have no idea what we're going to talk about tonight, do we, Kevin?
We are going to talk about how dangerous it is to come to Russia as a Westerner.
Man, let me tell you, if you do not know what you're doing, Sid, how you doing? Sid, if you don't know what you're doing and you come to Russia, Russia's going to bite you. Absolutely. Absolutely.
And,
Have a plan.
When everyone's through watching us, they should go over to Dan's channel, Wild-Siberia, and they should watch his video about why people should not come to Russia.
Absolutely. I wholeheartedly agree. And by the way, Dan, if you're watching, great video on the tent, man. I want one of those tents. If you got the hookup on that, send the link my way. But I'd like to give me one of those, man.
And by the way,
let's see.
You are now required to call Mr. Wonderful Tovarish Wonderful.
Tovarish Wonderful? Okay.
Tovarish Wonderful, yes.
We can do that. We can do that. Comrades, welcome to another Sunday evening, and we have got some stuff to talk about. Cool. If I get some footage, it says 1 Corinthians 15, 1 through 4. You bet, man. We'll try to go for it. Jay does know all. Just open both channels side by side. There you go, Dave. We can do that. All right. We are sitting here watching the chat, seeing if anybody else is going to come on because, we're three dummies, three idiots. And, sometimes we get exposed for being dummies and idiots. And this morning, I wake up this morning and I go to social media immediately, and I go to my YouTube account, and I see this. And I don't know if you guys know who this guy is. Why is he not on the screen? There we go.
Yeah.
This idiot right here by the name of, I shouldn't call him an idiot. I might get in trouble. Ryan Macbeth. Do any of you guys know who Ryan Macbeth is? If you do, put it down in the comments. Ryan is a pro 404 anti-Ukrainian useful idiot, if you ask me. And so all of a sudden I see this and I was like, useful idiots. And I was like, how dare this guy talk about us? How Russia Today infiltrated right-wing media. And I'm actually insulted, Kevin, that our picture and our name is not on his thumbnail. I mean, come on, dude.
Well, I agree. And this is why Eddie and I, we dealt with swift justice today. We filed on a Sunday a lawsuit for trademark infringement on our name. And we actually got a judgment against them already. What was it, Eddie? 1 billion
1
peanuts?
billion rubles. Yeah, pay me in rubles, man. I'm in Russia. And I will take it all the way to the bank, man. No problem. But this guy right here, to call us a useful idiot and not even give us credit, man. I mean, come on, Ryan.
Yeah.
I challenge you, dude. You got 3 idiots right here. Come on the channel, man. Let's have a debate. Let's talk. All right, we'll see, man. But yeah, dude, I was insulted this morning when I saw that. But anyway, so what else is going on, man?
What else is going on? I don't know. I got about 20 things going on here today.
So we were going to talk about coming to Russia without a plan. Am I right?
We were going to talk about coming to Russia without a plan, and
how that can be disastrous.
Yeah. You know, I actually talked to somebody today who I had to give kudos to, because he says, I've been to Russia, but I'm coming one more time as a tourist to check things out and make sure I want to live there before I sell everything, pack up my stuff, and come.
Validate.
And yeah, the reason we tell people to come as a tourist first is, you don't know where you're going to want to live. You have to come, you have to check some things out. You have to check out the culture, the people in the areas, and, get your residency permit before you sell everything. You could get here, you could be refused residency, and then you have nothing to go back to. Yeah.
True. Absolutely. And we bless you. And
Thank
we
you.
have seen some people, have a difficult time, and I don't wish that on anybody. And so, my situation was different. I did not leave the West to come east. The East kind of called me.
Yep.
Her name was Elena, and she just kind of called me this way. And then Russia called me this way. And that's how I wound up here. I think Kevin wound up here in a similar situation as well. But if you want to leave the West, that's a very, very big commitment. And don't do it foolishly. Do it the smart way. There's time. There's plenty of time. Okay? There's plenty of time. Take a deep breath. And the first thing you want to do is say, I want to go to Russia and I want to check it out. And if you can schedule it, if you can make a plan to be here at least 30 days. If you can't do 30 days, 10 plus at least. Because, and here's the reason I tell even just people who just come in on a tour, just to come tour Russia, come for 2 weeks. I'm going to tell you why. Your first day, your first maybe 2 days are going to be totally useless. Because the first day you're traveling and you're getting in. The second day, jet lag. You're plus 8 hours if you're coming from the US at least. So you're not going to enjoy your first 2 days. Happy birthday, Moscow. Dien Rождения. 877th year.
Yep. Oh, my lights got bright again.
That's all right, man. You look good. You got this blue thing going on in the background, and you got these rosy cheeks. So
yeah. Well, this is my expensive lighting. The Scotch tape gave out.
Yeah, you're looking very Anglo-Saxon today.
Yeah. Okay.
Says the Caucasian man.
Yeah. So hey, one of the things.
Go ahead.
Yeah, one of the things people don't understand when they come here is registering. What's the difference between a visa and a migration card and registration?
You know, these are terms that have very specific meaning, and they have a very specific meaning to each and every one of us who came here as a tourist or decided to live here on a tourist visa. These terms absolutely mean everything. And so this is terminology. I guess, yeah, we could call this like Russian tourist terminology that you're going to have to get accustomed to and to learn. And I think that's a great idea, Kevin. What is a visa and what does it do for you?
Well, you know, a visa you get from whatever country you're coming from the Russian consulate, the Russian embassy, or some visa service in your country of choice. And it just gives you permission to come. It gives you permission to get on a plane and fly to Russia.
That's about it.
Yeah, I was going to say it gives you permission
control
to come into the country, but it's ultimately that border patrol guy who decides that.
Yeah, or gal. You know, let's not discriminate.
Yes.
Dude, is this for real? Danny boy, for real. First time I went to Russia, I didn't register until 7 months later because I didn't know, and I started dating Ksenia. She didn't know either. Wow. Yeah. Dude, I would love to hear this story, man. What happened when you went to register? Did they chew you out? Did the babushka read you the riot act? Or did they just sign you up and say, hey, no big deal? I want to know, man. That's crazy.
Yeah. And let me say, yeah, he says he'll hop on. Let's
do it, man. Do it. Take your time, bro.
You gonna give him a link?
I think he's got it because he's part of this crew.
Oh yeah, he can get in. So I do want to tell people that just because you come here and you don't do something and you don't get caught doesn't mean you won't get caught and it won't bite you in the butt later. This is why anything you hear from Eddie and I is according to the law. Because like in Dan's case, God forbid, he goes to get his residency permit. They could bite him for that eventually.
Yep. They say you didn't register one time.
I don't see him here.
Yeah, I'm going to I'll send you an invite, bro. Hang on. Here's it going. There it is on your Telegram.
Yeah, and he wants to know my story about my daughter in Turkey too. So I guess I could tell that. Although it's not related to what we're talking about.
Where you at? I don't see you, man. Anyway, we'll wait. We'll wait on Dan. But he got the babushka hospitality. Tavadish Wonderful says. We wonder, man.
Yeah, I don't know. I think he's getting the dedushka hospitality, because if he was getting babushka hospitality, he'd be putting on a little more weight than he has been.
That's true, man. That is true.
There is no such thing as second servings with a babushka. It's third and fourth and fifth. But while we're waiting for Dan, yeah, so the visa will get you to the border. The Border Patrol guy will decide if you can come in or not. And he will give you a migration card. It's not even a card, it's a piece of paper. And it says when you came in, what you're here for, when you have to leave by. Do not lose the little piece of paper. If you do, it is a pain to replace it. And you need it for everything.
Here's a good word of advice. Anytime a Russian official in a uniform hands you a document, save it.
Yes.
Put it somewhere. I've got a little stack of, I've got a folder where all my papers are in. Some of them I could probably throw away now, but I don't. They're still there. If I ever need it, that's where it is. But if somebody in a uniform in Russia gives you a piece of paper, hang on to it.
Yes. So after you get in and you have your migration card and you go to stay where you're going to stay, what's the whole deal about this registering stuff? I mean, are you automatically registered no matter where you go?
I'll be right back. I'm going to go get something for show and tell. Stand by.
Okay. Yeah. So, Little Wolf. Let me see if she has it handy here. This is how you keep it handy on you all the time. And this is just a small part of the papers. One of these is house papers. This is medical stuff. So keep it all.
All right. What did I miss?
So,
that was the question.
How do you keep it handy? Okay. So I was showing them my wife's folders of stuff.
Okay, so that's for what you have at home, paperwork. But when you leave the house and you got to carry your stuff, I get a man purse. Mine looks like a little tactical little fanny pack, and this is where I carry all my documents. I carry my the old passport. Oh, and migration card. Still here. You know why? I probably don't need it anymore because I have residency, but it was given to me. I'll hand it to passport control on the way out, whether I need to or not. Why? Because it was given to me. So yeah, I just carry everything here. And so if I get questioned by the police, by anyone, which I haven't, but if I do, everything's on my person. Here it is. There you go. No problem. That's how I carry it.
And as a citizen, I have a man purse as well. I also have a fanny pack. Either of them is okay for men to use over here. I hear men say, "Oh, I'll never carry a purse." You will carry a purse in Russia if you're smart.
Yeah, I said I never would either. But then, you know what? Then I saw some real manly looking Russians that I would never approach and say, "Ha ha, you're carrying a man purse." And when they were wearing one, I said, "Okay, well, I think I can, well, I'm man enough. I can wear one."
Yeah. Most men here carry a man purse. It's a handy place to keep your passport, your driver's license, your money, the whole shebang. So
It's a very European thing. Absolutely.
yeah.
Hey, but I thought we weren't in Russia. I thought we weren't in Europe. Hey, Daniel, you ready? Hey, man. Welcome.
Hello. I want to show you guys. Can you hear me?
We can hear you, brother. We'll try not to make a lot of noise because we know Ksenia's asleep.
No, so look at this.
Yeah. See, he's got one too.
Yep.
He wears his fanny pack like I wear mine, over the shoulder.
I carry my passports. So I'll tell the story after I show you guys like what I carry inside the passport. I have the card that you get when you come through the border. And then I have my registration paper. And something that I learned that you're not supposed to have is like money inside your passport. Because I got caught by the cops one time going fishing in the morning, and Ksenia's like, "Don't carry money because they'll think you're bribing them." So I don't carry money in there. I still do, but I take it out sometimes. What happened was, I mean, I traveled to Russia without knowing a damn thing. I knew nobody in Russia. I had no clue. I had to register myself. So I went 7 months without doing it. And we found out from a friend when we went to register me 7 months later. They sent me to the immigration office because I went to the place where they do the paperwork, and they're like, no, you've been here how long? No, you have to go to the immigration because this is wrong. I'm like, what the heck is going on? They basically, in American terms, stomped on my pee-pee because they were like, "You messed up. You know, we're gonna fix this because it's been a long time. You didn't know, and we have no reason why to punish you for this, but you need to do it." And you need to do it. I think it's like, I don't know, maybe 7 days or something. I don't know anymore still.
7 days.
But man, they really chewed me out and threw me out of that office. And I went back to the office where they register you. It's basically where they do all sorts of paperwork. So like, I never miss it now because, you guys were talking about it and it can affect you. They do have it on record. Every time you register, every time you come through the border, they know everything. So if you're not going to do your paperwork right, they're really going to hold it against you if you're a bad person. They do know when you make mistakes, though. Like, they're conscious about like how humans are. They can read you really well. That's one thing I really like about Russia, is that they can read you really well. After they gave me an ass chewing, they threw me away and they let me go. Yeah.
Did they give you an administrative fine?
No, nothing.
Cool.
No, they
Yeah,
could, but they told me they could have done more. But they said, "Look, handle your business. We don't want to see you again." And I've never messed up since.
So when I got my citizenship, when you come in, you have to register. When you get your temporary residence, you have to go and get a stamp in it saying that you're registered. When you get permanent residence, you have to go back and get another stamp, all within 7 days. When I got my citizenship, they said, "You have to make an appointment to come in for the stamp." And I says, "Okay." And he says, "But the first appointment is 21 days from now." So they said, "Well, that's not our problem." And we went back after 10 days. They gave me an administrative fine because I didn't register in the 7 days, even though they wouldn't give me an appointment until after that. So it cost me like 4,000 rubles.
So
It's the games. It's the games we play.
Dan,
Yep.
show your registration for me. Show it for the audience.
I mean, it just looks like this.
Yeah. It's just a piece of paper that basically shows who you are and where you are registered. In other words, where you live.
Yeah,
So
that's
as
the
a,
important part.
as a tourist, or if you're here on different kinds of visas, this is what you're going to get. But once you get residency or permanent residency or citizenship, you get a stamp in your passport. And my registration looked, well, you can't even see it really well.
What a
It's
cool
just a
guy.
stamp. It's just a stamp. And then your
And you want to become a
registration
citizen,
looks,
you get that same stamp.
yeah, you get the same stamp.
We
So,
got 3 levels
it's
of
pretty cool,
dummies in
man.
here. Wow.
dude,
Yeah, we have 3 dummies now.
we're waiting for you to join the club.
And
No,
hey,
dude. You
hey,
know, we
when-
have 3 levels of like, I'm a tourist, Eddie's a resident, Kevin's a citizen.
Yeah.
And when you're a resident, Dan was a little upset he didn't get this when he got married. But, you know, you get a stamp that says you're married and to whom. So the rule here for single women, when a man is flirting with them and they start liking a man, is always check page, I think it's 7 or 13, because that's the page they put the stamp on.
So you have a
no
stamp
messing
that says you're
around.
married
Yeah.
because you have the
I have a stamp
citizenship
that says
passport.
I'm married and who I'm married to.
Yeah.
Her date of birth, when we got married, and that was before we came to Russia, and where we were married. State of Washington, United States.
Dang, man.
What,
So
what
you
is
don't miss
the-
registration.
What is the
You should have
difference
one of
between
those
getting
stamps,
married
though.
in Crimea and in regular Russia? Do you have everything that like regular Russians have in Crimea? Like as far as paperwork, it's all Russian Federation?
It's all Russian Federation paperwork, but our post office is not Russian. We have Crimea Post. The trains, they're the official Russian state trains until they get to the border, and then they become a private sanctioned company when they cross the bridge. So we have a lot of things that we're not treated as Russia, but
Wait, is this the bridge in Crimea or no?
it is.
Oh, if you guys don't know what money looks like here in Russia, I have this one for 2,000,
Dude, you're loaded.
this one for 1,000. I try to keep one of each in my bag
There you go.
because you
So
never
you-
know who you have to bribe.
Well, so Ksenia hasn't fully Russified you yet, because you know the rule is a Russian woman has to keep all the money from her husband so he doesn't go out
She
and
has
drink.
the card, Kevin. She has everything. This is like what I'm holding on to.
That's what we used to call hide a stash.
Tim,
don't
I
know
don't
about
have the
that.
5,000 one.
I don't know about that. My wife is in the room next to me here. I have no money.
Sorry, guys.
So
It's
Dan
true,
was
though.
asking about this the other day. My daughter's thing in Turkey, and somebody in the chat said, "Tell it anyway," even though it's not related. Edewolf said, "Tell it anyway." So, not quite as bad as what Ksenia had in Turkey, but so that foreigners know, if you have 2 passports here, you have to leave. If you're a Russian citizen, you have to leave and enter on your Russian passport. In the United States, you have to leave and enter on your US passport. So she left the United States on her US passport, came into Russia on her Russian one, left on her Russian one, got to the ticket counter at Turkish Airlines, handed them her US passport because she's flying back to the States. And the guy said, you don't have an exit stamp from Russia in it. And she said, well, I do in my Russian passport, but I came into Turkey on my US passport. I have an entry stamp from you guys, and now I have an exit stamp from you guys. And he says, no, you have to have one in from Russia in your US passport. Well, fortunately, she's got a healthy amount of Italian in her. So she set the guy straight, and, you know.
They're dogs. They're just dogs. Look, if you're going to fly through Turkey, guys, you need to make sure that you're set straight yourself and then some, because they'll find any opportunity to make money off of you. They like to steal people's planes, like their flights. They stole so much money during the mobilization. It's not even funny. The story that we lived through, besides Ksenia, they took off every single Russian. They had a passport, just a stack full. Didn't care who they were or how much they paid. They just took everybody off. It was horrible, man. It was like I had never experienced such. It was racism, absolute racism. Yeah.
Yeah, and it's an expensive place too, especially that airport. They will steal you blind. So be careful. And when you go to Turkey, if you got to go through that airport, you better have cash. You better have some cash.
Some cash. But this is also why we tell people not to carry large amounts of cash.
Some cash, yes. But I mean, you should have something. Go ahead.
The visa guys, like for us, they charge you for Americans, I think it's $30 to go get your bags and switch planes. Sometimes when you want to go out and then in, it's $30 for a visa. It's 30 minutes only free Wi-Fi, even though it's supposed to be a modern airport. It's the new airport in Istanbul. The food is horrible, and if you eat the normal food, it's going to be expensive. The people there are really racist against Russians. I think it's because they know that they can abuse them right now. This is just from experience. I think I'm probably the only guy who hates them this much. I gotta stop myself. I just can't stand that airport, man. It's like a robbery. They constantly, I mean, I think Russia put like a lawsuit against the entire airport over there because they found out, finally Russia realized, hey, you guys are abusing our tourists. I don't know if something happened from that, but Jesus Christ. It was like a lawsuit.
I remember hearing something about that. Yeah, I have an Istanbul airport story as well. So when I flew back to Texas in last December, again, I flew in on Aeroflot and was going to fly back out to Texas on Turkish Air. So which means I had to go, I couldn't transit. I had to get a visa to stay at the Istanbul airport for 8 hours or whatever, grab my bags, and then go and check in with Turkish Air. $30, and they wanted cash. And it's like, I just came from Russia. I don't have cash, US cash. I have credit card. And luckily, I had Wise. And of course, my bank card from the United States would still work, but it would probably get blocked the minute it gets swiped in Turkey without me letting my bank in the States know that I'm out of the country. So I used my Wise card, paid for it, and did that. When I flew back to Russia 3 weeks later, I get to the airport. I'm doing the same thing. In on Turkish Air, out on Aeroflot. I go up to the visa guy and I said, hey, I need a visa. And I give him my passport and he says, you don't need a visa. I was like, what do you mean? He's like, you don't need a visa. Go. Like, what? Well, then within those 3 weeks, they changed the rule. And now you could transit as an American not only transit, but you can visit Turkey without a visa. Crazy. They just changed the rules. Second story, I'm going to tell you about the airport. I was freaking hungry, man. I was there for 12 hours waiting for my connection to Aeroflot. You got to eat, right? Expensive airport, expensive as hell. So I wanted Turkish food because if I'm in Turkey, I want to eat Turkish food. So I go to this place and I want to just doner, just simple meat and some potatoes and a drink. It was $27. And I said, are you freaking kidding me? He's like, and it wasn't $27. It was actually 27 euros. I'm like, that's like 29 bucks, man. Are you freaking kidding me? And they said, yeah. I said, you know what? Cancel my order. I saw a Burger King. I went to Burger King and I got just a burger, just a Whopper, no cheese, a little bit of fries and a drink. $14. Okay. Worst freaking hamburger I have ever had. It was frozen. When it came to me, it was still cold. They didn't even freaking warm it up. I said, you got to be freaking kidding me. I paid almost $15 for this crap. It made me sick. And I was like, dude, this is not right, man. So be prepared when you go through Istanbul.
I can't wait for Xenia to get her Mexican passport because we never want to see that country again. I have like a huge resentment. I don't know if that's the word. Like I absolutely hate that airport. Nobody from the staff helped us. The story when they called Xenia a prostitute, it got worse because they said, buy this ticket and you can get on the board and fly. We bought that ticket. Then they ripped the ticket in front of me when I tried to fly again, and they laughed and said, this is trash. Like, these people are animals. These people are animals.
They will take advantage of you. Yeah.
So we have the question of...
you know me too well, man.
Yeah. So we have the question, what other airports with airlines fly to and from the U.S. and Russia? So you can go through Qatar, any of the UAE countries. They treat you real well. Sometimes they're cheaper. Sometimes they're a lot more expensive. I'm talking to somebody right now that is flying into Poland and taking a bus to Kaliningrad and then flying to Moscow. I know Air Serbia flies direct in. I don't know, Dan. What other suggestions do you have?
Basically, Josue, the airports that fly in, you're going to be looking at all of the old ex-Soviets, basically, like Kazakhstan, Uzbekistan, Kyrgyzstan. I don't know all the other ones, but when you want to fly into Russia, you always have to say where you're flying from in the world and what part of Russia you want to visit, because you can fly from the east side, from like Mongolia. You could also take a train from Mongolia. There's a lot of connections, a lot of flights on that side. But on the western side, like they already mentioned, Serbia, all the UAE people. And honestly, I think that the best one right now for me is flying as an American from Los Angeles. If I want to visit my family, I go to Mongolia. Then from Mongolia, it flies to Korea and then straight to Los Angeles. So because I live on the west coast of the United States, but if I lived in New York, I would probably just fly New York, Turkey, Moscow. But since I'm banning Turkey, I'd have to go through like Serbia or something.
There is another route
of internet. Thank you for coming. It was nice to have you. Goodbye.
Who went goodbye? Oh, Two
Faces of internet.
Bye-bye. No, I was going to say there is another route.
Russian propaganda to idiots. So.
Gotcha. There is another route that if you want to go through Armenia, through Yerevan, Air France flies from Yerevan to Paris. And then from Paris, you can fly Air France or probably any other Western airline from Paris to the U.S. So I'm kind of debating that route as well. So it would be Moscow, Yerevan, and then Yerevan to Paris, Paris on to, it's just another hop that I would have to make. But, maybe if I could save a few bucks and not go through Turkey, yeah, I'll try it.
Yeah, you just have to check around. I know that from the United States, I don't recall which airlines it is. There's 2 airlines. They can actually book you into Moscow now. And I don't know, I think it was Air Canada, but it changes all the time.
I don't think you could fly in from Japan in the Far East. Like the way that I do it is I go to Mongolia, and then I go into Irkutsk, and then you can fly to the Far East. I don't know if Japan has direct flights into Russia, even though it's really close. I think there's ferries. Somebody was talking about ferries, but I don't know.
Somebody want to answer this one about Finland?
I don't know anymore. They used to have a ferry and you could take it from Finland. Whether they still run or not, I don't know. It's been a few years since I've been in St. Pete.
Igor travels frequently from those type of countries, guys. But the problem with those countries is that they frequently also close their borders. You never know when Finland is going to say, "Oh, and there's no traffic today into Russia." Same with Estonia. Estonia is pretty radical too.
Yeah, I was about to say that with Narva. Sometimes they can be a little schizophrenic as well.
So, Sid, where'd Sid go? How much longer will Armenia be honoring flights to Russia? I would guess they will continue. We can only guess on things like this, but they will likely honor flights to Russia for a good long time because it is a very, very popular Russian tourist destination. And Sochi and Crimea are very, very popular Armenian tourist destinations. So, you have to separate the official government lines.
Armenia also has no leverage on, even if it leaves. I mean, it broke ties with Russia recently in I think they had something going on, some sort of maybe military thing, but it has no weight in that region. It gets bullied by its neighbors. So if it decided to turn its back on Russia really badly, it would not end good for it. And the flights, actually, there was a video on The Real Reporter where countries in the beginning of the sanctions were confiscating all the, what was that, Boeing? No. What is that big airplane manufacturers? Right now, Russia's using a huge fleet of Western planes that it took.
Boeing and Airbus.
Yeah, Boeing. Yes. So if Armenia decided to stop honoring flights and then just start confiscating these planes for the West, it would not end good for Armenia. So Armenia has to be a good little dog.
They've got to play it safe on both sides because, they're a little dog in a big world.
Yeah, a Sukhoi. What is it? The 151, something like that. Jay would know. Where's Timothy?
It's the Boeings. Yeah, these SIDS, these are the ones we're talking about. And the majority of the Russian airplane fleets are not even theirs. They're basically running on things from the West, and that's why they're trying to do their own new airplane. And it's actually being done here in Irkutsk, which is fascinating. Irkutsk, it's a beautiful historical place for a lot of the old planes that were made in the Soviet Union, and it's continuing its legacy now.
Yep. So this is another thing for people to know from us idiots. You go to Moscow, you can get around pretty much anywhere on public transport. You really need a car in Crimea. We have buses, but it takes you forever to get anywhere. How about Irkutsk, Dan?
We have taxis. We have the buses. We have the buses on those lines on cables. We also have the trains on the ground, like trolleys. We have taxis. We have mini buses. We have a lot of things except subways.
So no subways in Irkutsk.
No, it's just too much water under there on the ground.
Yeah, we've got the trolleys as well. You take one of the 2-hour car drive from where we are to Simferopol, the capital of Crimea. You take the trolley bus; it's like a 5-hour drive.
What is the legal, like, you said that you guys have your own private trains and all that, but is there any restrictions on traveling inside of Crimea? Like, it's fascinating to me because they say you can't own land in certain places, but like as a tourist, can anybody just go visit?
Yeah, anybody can come here. Get across the bridge by car or train. Can't fly here right now, but yeah, anyone can come here from within Russia.
Okay.
So, question: from the Russia side of the bridge, when you cross by train or by car, do you go through passport control at that point, or do you go through it, or what type of border control is there?
We don't have border control here. If you're coming from Ukraine, there's border control, and they unload cars that are trying to cross the border, buses. In fact, the bus drivers from Ukraine come to the border with Crimea. All the passengers are unloaded. They have to walk 4 kilometers through the border stations, and then they have to board on another Russian bus on the other side. So, but coming from Russia, what you have is we have a checkpoint on the bridge. Since we had those 2 attacks on it, one of them, with explosives under a truck, is what they do is they stop all cars on either side of the bridge, and they go through your car. They look under the hoods, they look under the car, they go through your luggage to make sure you don't have anything to blow up the bridge with. We've never waited more than maybe an hour to get through it, but once you get through, it's just straight across. You don't stop on the other side. They do have big blocks now in the highway, so they're like this, so that nobody can actually race through and avoid the control points. But no border and no passport checks.
And so I take it if you board a train, then of course there's no border stop.
It's
you just
straight
keep
across.
Keep running, going.
No stopping.
JPS Fudimo. I hope I didn't mispronounce that. But if you're looking for long-term apartment rental, yeah, you can find that here in Russia. Absolutely.
But you generally need to hook up with a realtor who knows about such things.
That's what I would recommend, because there are some sites that we could recommend that you go and just have a look. Kind of look at the market, see what's there, see what's available. Then when you get here, rent a hotel, operate out of a hotel for a week, 2 weeks, whatever it takes, and then shop around for your long-term rental. That would be my suggestion.
Yeah.
Oh man, this thing didn't work. I was trying to link the...
So this kind of fits back in with our residency thing. If you're here as a tourist, any hotel will register you while you're staying there. You leave the hotel, they will unregister you. So make sure wherever you're going to after the hotel is either another hotel, or if you're going to rent a place, make sure you talk to the landlord ahead of time about registering you. It's not hard for them to register you, but a lot of Russians are a bit timid in registering foreigners at their homes, and because there can be a real hassle getting people off. We see in the chats all the time, well, all you have to do is go online to state services and you can unregister someone. Yeah, if you have a copy of their passport and if you have a copy of the address where they're going to go to, and you have to remember, this is one of those keep those paper things. You have to have the number from when you registered them. If you don't have where they're going to register elsewhere, oh, is this the forum? This is wrong now, Eddie.
Huh?
Yeah, there's no
It's
link
wrong?
on it.
Yeah. Here, let me update what
Okay.
we've got here.
This is for JPS here. We're going to put this up for you and for others so that you can join Wild-Siberia Forum, which is a great resource.
We have it updated.
Is that it, or is that the one I need to take down?
We
Take
have
that
it
one
updated
down.
where if you look on Telegram and put the Russian experience, you should be able to find it, guys.
I've got it here.
Yeah.
Woo!
Ah, cool.
So I'll
There you go,
delete the
guys.
old one. But yeah, is what I was saying is, you'll get some pushback from some landlords because they have concerns about if they register you, they've got to pay taxes. It's not a cash in the pocket thing. They can have problems unregistering you. So always make sure where you're going to, you can be registered at before you move locations. And if you have questions, this is the place down here to go get them answered.
Yep.
Dan has got experts in the various chats in the forum. So it's broken down visa information and moving money information. We have a new geopolitics chat that Dan added, and the minute he added it, it went dead. So Eddie,
What
I
happened? You
told him
mean it
we'd
went
get back
dead?
on geopolitics pretty soon, and we'd flood that thing with.
Oof. That might be
For
my
some
go-to
reason, people
place.
like to do it when there's no channel. I don't
Etta
know.
Wolf trying to wear down the wife on the move to Russia, kicking and screaming. Took her on a Google Drive showing her streets and how easy they are to read. The fact, Etta Wolf, the fact to drive home to your wife is the fact that she can go on Google Drive and actually see streets in Moscow, anywhere in Russia, should make her feel at ease that, hey, it's not really a bad place. Think about it. All right. I am Jim. Cool.
Hey, Jim. This forum has actually been growing in leaps and bounds. 252 members in what, Dan? Just a few days.
Yeah, we have like 4 days, and I'm trying to let everybody know because it's not like my forums, because it's actually a couple channels and also a couple professionals in there who are kind of running the show, making sure everybody's having a healthy like ecosystem. And yeah, so Jim, if you just write in the proper category, somebody can go out there and help you, and I'm almost positive that you'll have really good results. All you have to do is go to the right topic, put a question, and somebody will get to you, brother.
Yeah, and just to kind of illustrate some of the topics here, you got to read me frequently asked questions, announcements. You got the main chat, geopolitics, don't fight and cry. I like that. Visa info, jobs, work in Russia, Russian news, movies, books, music, Ksenia's photography corner, which, by the way, brother, let her
It
know
is
she is
the
an
best.
amazing photographer, man. Amazing.
Thank you.
Money in, money out, and
Legally.
Russian properties.
Yeah.
Yeah. So there you go, man. I love that community, bro.
So guys, you both have a question here. I mean, you know, I always knew metric from day one, so I wasn't asked. But how did you get used to the metric system, Eddie and Dan?
I knew some of it from back in the days when I was in police work and you're shooting. Everything's done in meters. You really don't talk in feet, meters per second, all that the good stuff. So you kind of get used to it, but you kind of forget it. But now I'm just kind of learning. You know, a kilometer is 0.6 miles. A meter is what, 3.2, 3.3 feet? Maybe I'm wrong. I don't know. Something like that.
See, that's where you're wrong, Eddie. You don't have to convert it. Look, I did meters in the military.
Secret. Tell me.
It's similar. It's similar to you. I did it in the military though, and also I was in Mexico for a long time, and I did meters. And I don't think in feet at all. Like if somebody says how many feet is that, I'm like, I don't freaking know, man. I use centimeters here and meters. You figure it out. Do the conversion. It's your problem. I don't care about the freedom metric, right? Or freedom feet or whatever. I have no clue.
1 meter is 37.
It wasn't hard for me. I lived in meters.
Yeah, you know, for me, I pretty much think in metric at this point. Of course, I've been married to a Russian for a long time, 20 years now. So, and she was in the medical field, so everything was metric as well. But, you know, I don't get into the exact conversions. If you need to convert it, just guesstimate. You know, there's 2.2 kilometers in a mile. Just double it. Or is it the other way around? Half it. See, I can't even think in imperial anymore. But if you see a sign that says 90 kilometers an hour, somebody can give you the exact answer, but I figure you're driving about 45 miles an hour.
I have no clue how much it is. Also, like temperature. When people tell me like, oh, how hot is it or how cold is it? I'll be like, oh, it's about 15 degrees or 25 degrees. And they'll be like, how much is it in Fahrenheit? I don't know, man. I don't know Fahrenheit anymore. I've been here for a long time, but I was in Mexico too.
All I know is that between about 17 and 21, 22 degrees is like my favorite weather right there. I'm comfortable.
I need it colder. Like I need it lower.
You like it
cold? Asking me, is Peter in Russia or not? I have no clue. Don't know where he is. Don't know what he's doing. Don't really care.
Who's that? Where is that?
That was Regis.
All right, I want to.
Do you?
Oh, wait a minute. Oh. Did I interrupt?
It's okay.
I just saw this. If Harris and company cheat the election again, there's no choice but Russia. We can retire there and support our kids throughout their lives with the education and a home with what we would bring. Hey, great idea. Come visit first. Yep. Come visit first. That's all I got to say. But yeah, I totally agree. But please come visit first.
So what I was going to throw up there is, do you guys have health insurance as tourists? Well, Dan, do you have health insurance as a tourist?
No.
So, Linda, is what you can do, and if you're in Crimea, they will require you to do it as a tourist. Well, they won't require it as a tourist, but if you want to apply for immigration, is they will sell you a health insurance policy. It costs about $17 for a year. But as a tourist, no, you don't have health insurance. You can get it. You can go to FMS and you can pay for it, but 1,700 rubles.
And I still do not have it. I just received my residency, but that's next.
Yep. You actually have to go to another office, pick that up. Eddie will have to do it once a year, pick up a new one at the first of the year. Same thing as a permanent resident. When you become a citizen, they give you one that's good forever.
Actually, this kind of ties in line with this, what Imran is saying, but what I'm doing right now is registering as a tax citizen and getting my Russian version of a social security number. And then from there, I've got to go and register under the, oh my gosh, what is it called? The pension system. So yes, now I have to pay taxes, and I also pay into the pension system as well.
Yes, but you're a resident. If you're just here on a visa, as a tourist or a private visa, no, you cannot open a company. You can't register as a company.
I don't know. I think Timur said differently. That's what's interesting. He said something on one of my videos. I don't know if he said that you can open a job, I mean a company, but you just can't work in it if you're a tourist. And if you're a resident, you can open it and work in it. I'll have to look back on it, but join our forums, Imran, and we'll get back to you on that one.
Yeah, there are ways you can do it, but like Dan says, you know, working in it, you aren't going to do. It isn't like you're going to come here on a visa, open a company, and start working on it, because legally you can't work. Okay. Why pass on the experience of driving a Lada?
I want one. I want to buy one. Yeah.
I personally want an old Soviet UAZ Jeep, but okay, what else we got here? Other airports, we already talked about that. Merch, we talked about that. Timothy wanted to know, shouldn't you keep all official documents no matter what the country? Well, yeah, but we're streaming about Russia, so.
But that is something that I do talk about to people. Like, they ask, do I do this in Russia? Do I do that in Russia? Guys, a lot of the questions you guys ask, you're supposed to do it when you travel, period. So when Tim says, like, yeah, it's like a little bit obvious. Sometimes people ask, hey, do I need a passport to go to Russia? It's like, what the heck? Yeah, you need a passport. It's that crazy. Like, there's all sorts of people asking questions that apply to everything. You're supposed to prepare. Sometimes you get questions that makes me wonder, have you ever traveled in your life? But Russia's really simple, guys, because it's the land of common sense. Just try to think. If you think you might need something, you will need it in Russia. It's just like that.
So here's a good question, since this is what we originally said we were going to talk about. Why do you mean Russia can hurt you? Well, it's like we said while Dan was getting ready to come on, and what Dan said when he came on. You fail to register, it can bite you in the butt. And how will Russia hurt you? They can deport you if they decide that you didn't just make a simple mistake. Or if you get some cop who, you know, his wife burnt his toast that morning. You know, there's lots of things you need to know when you come here. Be respectful of their laws. If you are a Westerner and you come to Russia, do not think that you are privileged and you are above Russian laws. If you break a Russian law, you will pay the penalty. So you don't register, it's a problem. If you lose your migration card, it can be a problem. If you, I mean, there's so many things you need to know when you come here. This is common sense stuff. Everybody, no matter what country that they go to, should know what they're going into. We see the news all the time about, gee, this poor innocent kid was arrested in Moscow and he didn't do anything, other than the fact that he was caught with a thumb drive in his pocket with confidential information on it. Gee, this poor older guy got arrested at a Moscow hotel and he didn't do anything, other than the fact that he lost his migration card and the hotel said they had to have it to register him. And he pitched a big fit and started yelling and screaming. The police came, told him to calm down. They charged him with, what is it, Eddie? Public nuisance?
Basically, yeah.
Yeah. And
misdemeanor.
Yeah. And while he's committing this misdemeanor, he starts flailing his arms around and he's accidentally or on purpose, we don't know, hit a female officer. So he got arrested for police brutality. Now, he's in serious problems. He's being held until October while they investigate this case against him.
Do stupid things, you're gonna get in trouble with the law. Here's the thing, though, is that a lot of Americans, because of the way we've been propagandized in our own country, we have this superiority complex. We believe we're exceptional, and you can go into some countries and you can say, you got to treat me right, I'm an American, and you'll probably get away with it, and you might get some special treatment. I'm just going to leave it at that. That doesn't work here, period. You're nobody when you're here. Now, that's not to say it's bad. What I'm saying is just put your attitude. If you have that kind of attitude that, hey, I'm an American, I'm superior, all this other stuff, just put it away, because it will not do you any good here. And probably if you keep having that attitude, you're going to be on the news because you might wind up getting in trouble.
Yep. So, Mr. Wonderful, I can tell you that if you ask your question once, we will get to it eventually. If you ask it over and over and over again, you do nothing but aggravate the hosts. So,
Russia is a special country where I feel that I love when people get what they deserve usually, and Russia is that country that will give you what you deserve. There's a lot of cowboys out there, in America, in the West, like you guys were talking about, like feeling that you're special, but like Americans feel like cowboys. They say, oh, if you do this, I'll do that. We have that mentality. But actually here, guys, it's society is level. Everybody's calm until you do something. It's a reactive, it reacts to you. That's how Russian society is. It's not it's not going to bite you first. And so when you come here, just calm down and enjoy your times. Like, enjoy your time in Russia. And another thing, this is why when Americans say, oh, I'll move there if I can take my guns, that kind of falls into it. Like, Russian gun culture is so older than the United States as a country. And the whole cowboy mentality needs to be erased from America. Like, you're not some sort of Rambo, guys. That thing really bothers me. I see a lot of those kind of comments. Don't come to Russia if you think you're some sort of cowboy and you live in like a John Wayne movie in your head. It's annoying.
And it is, going off of that a little bit, it is a Christian, Muslim, Buddhist, I don't know what else country. Although Russia is very big on being a Christian nation, do not come here as a Bible thumper, because they will thump you right out of the country.
I take offense to it, especially, Kevin, because I live here with next to Buryatia, and they're basically like a Buddhist or majority Buddhist oblast. They have also Muslims, and that's why it bothers me when people talk about, oh, Russia needs Christians and all these things. Like, man, I'm living in Siberia in the middle of Tuva and Buryatia. These people are like really good friends of mine, my best friends, Buryat, and yeah, don't come here talking about bad about other religions.
Yeah. So, Mr. Tovarish, can you convert a buhanka into a living space and travel across Russia as a tourist without having to register a residence? No. You can, if you want to go through the headache, buy a buhanka. You can convert it. You can travel around, but you better have an address registered at. We will take up the topic of buying a vehicle as a tourist on another stream, because it is not easy to buy a vehicle if you do not live here permanently or on a residency visa. Basically, if you buy a vehicle and you're here on a tourist visa, you're going to stay for a month. Your registration expires at the end of that month. If you come back a month later, you have to re-register it again. And it is a pain in the butt, and most car dealers, most private individuals won't sell to you. I have experience with that.
So we got some questions here. Do you know of any retired U.S. citizens collecting their Social Security in Russia? Well, since you're on Social Security, why don't you answer that question?
Yeah, I collect my Social Security here. Some of our viewers that are out here that are preparing to move here have started to move their pensions and Social Security over here into Russian bank accounts. But you do need a Russian bank account over here. You know, it's easy to move money if you know somebody who can do it. And, you know, go out to the forum, and you can find me in the Money In and Out of Russia Legally chat, and I will be
Jim,
happy to help you.
That's basically, if you guys don't know, that's his niche. Like he's the moderator of especially this channel, and I trust him with being able to say, look, this is the guy. A lot of people, maybe you don't know what my channel is. I'm in wild-siberia. If you were watching my channel, this is the only person that I trust to be moderating that channel. When you're talking about moving money legally, you have to pay attention to this, guys. This is not like something that you want to try yourself. This is something that you have to think about. You need somebody who knows what they're doing, because that's why we added the title legally on the forums. This is dealing with something that you really need to read up on, or you need to be with someone who knows what they're doing. So yeah, it's on the forums, Jim.
Yeah, and I second that as well, because it is a complicated process because of the situation with sanctions, and you really need to know what you're doing when you're doing this. And I'll leave it to somebody who knows what they're doing, and I can wholeheartedly trust Kevin because I've put my money in his hands before. So no problem.
And you also need to know what the laws are. They change regularly. You know, people have asked me about like cryptocurrency. Yeah, you can deal with cryptocurrency here, but there are laws. I just have somebody that's in my chat all the time and has probably seen me say this a dozen times. Although there are stores in Moscow where you can pay for goods and services with cryptocurrency, it is illegal in this country to do so. And if you do it, you risk bad consequences. So, hey, I got the right hand this time. You can also go to my website down here, and you can set up a time with me and I can talk to you about setting that up for you.
All right. The big question that everybody's been asking, because I get this on my channel a lot, but do we have a list of countries that fall into Putin's new decree? No, we do not. Officially, this information has not been released yet. I will tell you the timeline. So President Putin signed it on August 19th of 2024, and he gave his deputies 30 days to come up with a process to announce. So 30 days from August 19th, we should have some information.
So we've had this up here, Jeanette. I'll put it back up in a minute. Or like I say, you can go to the website under my name. Both of them will get you to me ultimately. And since we're on the money issue, Social Security will not send pensions to a Russian bank. You have two choices for your pension. Actually, you have three choices. You can have it sent to the U.S. Embassy in Poland, and you can fly to Poland once a month and pick your check up. If you do not pick it up within 2 weeks, they send it back. But it'll cost you as much as your check to go pick it up. You can have it direct deposited into a Greek bank account, but then you have the same problem. You still have to get it here. Or you can have it deposited into a U.S. bank account, and I can get it to you over here. But they will not send your money to a Russian bank. They have never sent Social Security to a Russian bank. When the embassy was open to citizens, you could actually go pick your check up at the embassy in Moscow. The problem is you then have a check that no banks will cash for you because they don't use checks here. So you have to put it into a U.S. bank account and use a service to get your money here. And I have a video I did yesterday if you want to know about costs and fees on my channel. And, you know,
what is your channel, Kevin?
My channel is at youtube.com/@americancrimea. I think we may even have a banner up here.
Guys, if you guys are
anymore,
viewers who are not subscribed to Kevin's channel, you're not subscribed to Daniel's channel, Wild-Siberia, do so now. You're going to find links in the description. Dan, I'll add yours here momentarily. And yeah, we got you covered, man. But go over to Kevin's channel, go over to Daniel's channel, and sign up. And do us a favor. I know Dan does this a lot, but I'd like to know, tell us where you're watching from in the comments. Let's see where you guys are at.
I love reading where people are from.
Yeah,
That's
man,
so
it's
cool.
really interesting. It's really interesting. So give us a shout out where you're watching from.
Yeah, so that's mine on the screen now.
Yeah, at American Crimea. And Daniel, do you have yours? Do you have a banner for yours? Let me see. I think you do.
North Carolina, Moscow, Vienna, Austria. Cool.
Here, I'll do it right here.
St. Petersburg. Oh man, everybody's west from me. Everybody. There's not one person who's in. Nope. Wait.
Dan, did I get this right? Or is it Wild-Siberia
right.
or Siberian?
Yeah, that's right. You guys could just look
I don't
up
think there's a dash
Wild-Siberia.
in it, though.
Thailand is east of me.
Let's confirm that I got that right. Let me see.
Oh, come on.
Here we go. Wild-Siberia. Yeah, at wild-Siberia, not Siberian. So I got to fix that. So let me fix that.
I got cursed by Joseph for never learning my name and just saying it randomly. Nobody knows the damn name now. Oh man. But I'm gonna do a name change in the future. I just want to get to 100,000 on the channel and gift the plaque to the town. I just want to do an homage for Sludanka, and I wanted to say Wild Siberia, and I want it to be a gift to my town. And then eventually I'll just do maybe more news and stuff like this, and because actually it's really hard to find content in a small town. A lot of people who live in Moscow or in big cities, it's so easy to go outside and document things. Here, I mean, I'm not willing to go into the taiga and be camping all the time. My body's broke from the war, so I'm just trying to build a house and live comfortably, guys, and just make videos talking about the news and letting you guys know my opinions. So you heard it here first.
You're doing great, man. You're doing great, and I think that's a great idea. And I think I've never heard of Sludanka before, and I think a lot of people now know more about Siberia. They know about Irkutsk. They know about Lake Baikal. They know about Sludanka, and it's all because of you. So.
Yeah, hopefully the people who watch my channel can one day visit. I've offered everyone. I mean, if you're a psychopath, don't come. But if you're a good person, come see the lake, and you'll have a tour guide here.
Absolutely, man. And if you want information on how to get to Russia, because you can't find that information, you can come to right here, worryfreerussia.com. This is my personal website where I offer advice and consultation on making a plan to visit Russia. And then if you would like personal concierge service, you would like a friendly face, a trusted person to help you, maybe pick you up at the airport, help you get around, help you get to your hotel, help you open up a bank account, so on and so forth, or just hang out. This is the place. This is where you want to go. So worryfreerussia.com. And back to the channels. All right, we got some questions, man. Let's hit them.
Yeah. Put one up there, Eddie. Go for it.
Oh, man. S. Brian Reinhold Jr., thank you so much. Appreciate your support. In your opinion, what is more valuable in a move to Russia, a federal pension or a relative youthful 40 years old to start over again occupationally in Russia, crafting a long-term plan with my Russian wife? Well, first of all, kudos to you for knowing the importance of having a plan. But everybody's different. I can't speak for you, but all I can say, I'll be 60 years old in a couple of weeks. You're never too old. You're never too young to start something new, to start a new life, to go in a different direction. The only time is now. So make a plan and decide what's right for you and take it. What's your take on it, guys?
Well, you have 3 idiots here who've moved here and are earning money. And some of us are collecting pensions. Dan, you get one from your military pension, right?
Yeah,
I get my Social Security.
Yeah.
I get a pension.
But I don't think the pension thing is something that I want. Like, I don't count on that, guys. your plan should not be on a pension. I think that you should always just want to reinvent yourself. Like Eddie said, you're never too old. If you come to Russia, try to reinvent yourself. Use your pension if you can get it here as a soft pillow to land. If you manage not to succeed in your new invention that you have, like I don't know if it's going to happen to everybody, but ever since I've been in Russia, I've been motivated to do more things, to invent things, to create things. I did this YouTube thing. The YouTube thing is paying for quite a few things now. And I don't even want to depend on that. I want to do my tourism thing. I want to build a company here, maybe like buy a machine and have an operator. There's so many things you can do in Russia. So when you put up a pension, put that one as plan B and just kind of try to reinvent yourself, Brian. I know you can do it. I think you should definitely try and at least fail trying to do something new. Do the pension as plan B.
The other thing is you don't know how long your pensions will last. The U.S. government could, start restricting pensions for their own economic reasons. They could, if you're not living in the United States, whether it's Russia or elsewhere, there's just so many things to go, could happen to it. If you put your mind to it, it's relatively easy to start business here and do something new. Like Dan says, try it and fail, and then try it again. My wife teaches students. She teaches younger students because she can speak both languages. Dan teaches students, as I recall. Eddie and I are both running businesses at this point. And just, lots of things. Just put yourself out there. It's all about contacts.
Absolutely. Network, network, network. So I will tell you this, Brian, network with us by joining the forum that Dan has. Where is that again? So we can put it back up. Dude, where is it? I don't see it. Here we go.
You have to look for the Russian experience on Telegram.
Russian experience on Telegram. And to our dear viewers, if you are not on Telegram, what are you waiting for? What are you waiting for? Download the app, sign up for it. It's a great place, great communities there. And you can find all three of us there as well.
Oops, sorry. This is a hack for you guys who come to the big cities. Gray is absolutely right. English clubs are insane it's like a boom, especially now because Russians want to kind of be somehow tied to American or Western culture still. I mean, it's not deleted from Russia, and English clubs are a huge way to meet new people, connect with other people, connect with native Russians who maybe have a company, have a business, can give you a job. You meet other expats who maybe have businesses. You can learn a lot from them. English clubs are basically the real life Telegram groups, guys. Join them if you can, but if you're not in those, join our Telegram.
Absolutely. Network, network, network.
So I can answer this one because I've put a good amount of money into the bank recently. Interest rates right now in general, you can go into Sberbank, you can put it into a savings account, you can put money in, take it out at any time. They'll give you 16% for 3 months, then it drops to 10% on that account. The strange thing is like in the United States, if you put money into a CD, the longer the CD is in the United States, the more interest you get. Here, the longer you put it in for, the less interest you get. I've got a couple of CDs in 2 different banks. I'm getting a hair over 16% on it, but they have a deal where you can, every month you can withdraw the interest on it because they compound the interest daily and credit to you monthly. You can withdraw that money right away. Many people do this and live on the interest, or you can reinvest that in. Mine are all 3-month because I got the highest interest rate, and we leave the interest in, so we get an extra bit of percentage because you're getting percentage on top of the interest. So figure 10 to 16%. Some banks are offering 18% for short term.
I live off of that. I use that for food. Here in Russia, it's possible to eat off of that interest, guys, and that's without exaggeration.
No
I
exaggeration.
want to answer this because he wants to know if I can comment on the hardships one might experience when moving to an isolated region in Siberia. So the good thing about this, guys, is that, you know, Siberia is vast, but it has hubs. There's pretty big cities in random places. I'm 2 hours and a half from Irkutsk, but Siberia has towns with 10,000, 15,000, 20,000 population. And so you just have to find which one you like. For me, I'm comfortable being in a city, in a town that's close to a city, 2 hours away and a half is good for me. And I can go fishing. I could eat sushi if I want here at our only restaurant. I can go into the wilderness, but if I wanted to, I have already lived in Irkutsk. The population there is like 600,000, has everything you could ever imagine. Siberia is not a desolate tundra, guys. You just have to find what size city or town you want to live in. And if you want, in the future, if you visit Siberia, always start in Irkutsk, guys, because here you can see Lake Baikal and work your way to Western Siberia. So that's just a hack that I've learned. If I would do it all over again, I wouldn't change a damn thing. I would start in Irkutsk and then go west, because then you get to Krasnoyarsk, Tumen, you have Novosibirsk, you have all these random Siberian towns near Altai. So, guys, it is not a desolate tundra. Come and see it for yourself.
Absolutely. Come visit Russia.
So, since we're on this subject, realistically, they'll give it to you on any amount of money that you put on a CD. If you want to put 1,000 rubles, $10 in a CD for 3 months, they will give you that interest. On the CDs, however, you cannot add additional money down the road. So the best thing for you to do is to open up the 3-month high interest savings account where you can put in and take out. You build it up, and then at the end of the 3 months, when the interest goes down to 10%, you then move it into a CD. You start collecting the interest off of it, like Dan was saying.
If you don't,
that's actually what we did. And if you get 2 million rubles, so about $20,000 in your bank account, you become a premium member of the bank. That's at least with VTB, RNKB, and Sberbank. You get lots of extra benefits, like you do not have to wait in line at tellers. You do not have to wait in line to deposit or withdraw money. Here where we live, there's limited parking by the banks. My personal manager will go out and save me a parking space in the employee parking lot when she knows I'm coming. So they treat you well when you put a lot of money in.
And if you don't have a large amount of cash to bring in, or at one time, just start putting it away every month, and it'll grow, and then you can lock in a CD and do it that way. Start with what you got.
It's amazing. Russian banking is just amazing. It's light years ahead of any other banking I've ever seen. I use Sberbank.
Motorbike madness. I have no idea what you're talking about. Pro 404, anti-Ukrainian, pro-Ukraine.
Yeah, and I don't see the comments he's referring to, and I was getting ready to maybe say goodbye.
Okay. When you visit Russia, you open a Sberbank account for a Mir card. You don't spend it all. What happens? Your money sits in the bank account till you come back and you use it again. The advantage of having the account is you can throw more money into it, and no, it won't be frozen. It just stays active. As long as you have money in there, they're happy to keep lending your money out to other people and paying you interest on it. You know, that's how banks work. So that isn't an issue. Just make sure you keep the phone number that you have on the account active. So if you have like an MTS cell phone card, you go back to the West, make sure you turn on roaming, put some money on it every once in a while, you know, turn it on and let it connect to a tower in roaming mode for a second, and you know, you're fine. And make sure you don't lose your card.
Hey, how does this happen? I want to send a package of fishing gear to Dan. How do I get it done?
Can't.
Courier.
You got to be inside Russia.
Nope, courier. And if you need a courier, ping me.
There you
On
go,
the forums
JPS.
again.
Now you know.
I have the couriers.
I do need new lures. I do need new lures. I need a chatterbait. I need all sorts of stuff.
And what do you need, Eddie? Go ahead, ask. As long as
Right
we're
here,
sending
baby.
lures, yeah.
Icebreakers. And if you can find the cinnamon, oh man, you would make me a happy camper. Do you know how much these things, you can get these here in Russia, by the way, but it's over $100 for a package of 8 of these. You can buy them. You can buy a package of 8 for less than $18 on Amazon. Okay, it's $100 here in Russia. So if anybody's coming to Russia soon, if you're coming to Moscow especially, pack up on some of these. I will be very grateful. I will pay you when you arrive. Cinnamon, please, if you can find it. If not, I'll take whatever you can bring.
And if you're sending fishing equipment to Dan, throw a few packages in the box and Dan will send it by Russia Post up to Eddie.
There you go.
Or he'll use them himself.
Yeah, I'll get the empty containers. Yeah.
That'd be funny. Just because I know you really want them. I'll fill it with the sand from the lake.
Here's another question for you, Dan. Oh, I think we answered this, right?
Yeah.
We did. Let's see. Try to get rid of some of these. Hey, Kevin.
Is this live really called 3 Idiots? 3 Dummies?
Yeah, you're the third one because Daniel, the other Dan. Hey, we just substituted one Daniel for another Daniel.
Gee whiz.
Yeah.
I'm
Well,
thrilled.
we have a substitutable idiot. So, James, thank you. Eddie and I were talking about that earlier. I do not like the light in this studio. It's actually my wife's office rather than my own studio. So it's all white walls. I get a little echo, and she has very bright lights above her desk. I had paper filters tied up over them and they fell down on me. So thank you. I appreciate it. I am not this pale, really. I'm
Eddie's
an
got an awesome
olive-skinned
camera.
Italian.
And studio.
Same color as my Mexican American friends.
Hey, people usually talk about my wallpaper. Like they'll be like, "Oh, that's so nostalgic. It's like a Soviet." Or yeah, I'm in a Soviet apartment. This is like, it's all old stuff. Oh, when I get that new house ready, yeah.
Yeah, dude. We're looking forward to seeing how that house goes up. So Eleanor's asking about the job prospects. If one gets residency, what kind of jobs are possible for someone without language? Without language skills, I'm just going to say you're probably relegated to teaching or doing something like I'm doing, which is a business that is targeting English speakers. So
However,
go ahead.
However, go to the forum, and we'll put that up there again. There is a jobs chat,
There you
and
go.
there have actually been job offers for English-speaking people that do not know Russian, and they will teach you Russian for your job. So there are opportunities out there, and this is what it's something like AutoCAD. It's a Russian or some previous version of AutoCAD, ArchiCAD, something like that. But go out to the forum and take a look.
And of course, it will depend on what skills you're bringing with you as well.
Yep.
You can get creative, Eleanor. We also learned through the forums, like dog groomers, things that don't really need Russian. Like if you're if you have a specialty, if you can do something really good, you can actually advance in Russia. We talked to Timur, where he's an immigration consultant, like a lawyer, and he told us that here in Russia, your experience speaks more than even a diploma, even more than the language itself. If you have experience in something, the Russians will really embrace it. So you just have to specialize in something. Yes, I have 2 cats. One of them is Kuzia from Kuzmich, and the other one is Pushina. They were asking about my cats.
Somebody was asking, yes, these are mints, by the way. Icebreaker mints. Icebreakers mints.
George, when you ask if the hallways and stairwells are green in your building, which one of us are you referring to?
Mine are not green, but they're a Soviet off-white. Put it that way.
But do you guys have 2 colors? It's usually one color for the floor, and halfway they painted something else.
Right.
I have a pure Western house. It is white walls, floor to ceiling.
Whitewash.
Go to Crimea to make an American house.
Yeah.
Hey, we are known as the Americans in the town.
I'm doing the same thing though, Kevin.
I know. You know, it gives us the flexibility. It was the cheap way around, do the drywall, paint it. If we want to wallpaper something in the future, my wife wanted to do that. I was praying that she wouldn't want to do it in the end, but she's gotten to like the white walls now. We have square corners too. Many Soviet homes do not have square corners.
Jesus. I don't even, the camera can't capture what's going on back here, but it's It's not a straight line, and it's
I can see it.
yeah, it's crazy over here. God, this is so cool.
Okay.
Out here.
We've still got a bunch of questions out there.
Let's do it.
We did the job one already.
Let's take this one.
This is a bank question. No, you know, offshore accounts don't work here anymore. Any of the countries you could get them, you either have to be a resident there now or you have to be a business. And yours truly is actually a business. I have several ways of getting money here.
So I don't chew, so I don't know. Anybody you guys know?
Don't know.
Let me see. Yeah, so here they don't chew the leaf tobacco. You're gonna want to hang out with the people from like Uzbekistan and Tajikistan and see if you can handle their tobacco, their dip. It's basically little balls, but they're really intense, and they got poop in it. So you have to risk it for the biscuit.
I don't want to know more about that.
I did it on the train from here, Siberia, from Irkutsk to Kirov Oblast. I was riding on third class. It was filled with Uzbeks. They thought I was Uzbek because I looked like a Uzbek, I guess. And they offered me some tobacco for the lip, and I thought I got high. But after that, they fed me. I threw up, and it was a good time. It's really strong, guys.
Oh, man.
Yeah, it's pretty strong.
So, Linda, Canadian pensions, she actually corrected this in a later comment. Canadian pensions are frozen for Russia. Do you have any idea about this? Yeah, well, they are for the United States too. You can get a Canadian pension in a different country or put it into your Canadian bank account. I can get it to you. It isn't a problem.
I think I did drugs. Confirmed in the chat.
Maybe, no telling what was in it.
Damn, that chewing stuff is actually a drug. You're not supposed to try it. When you look like I look and you're riding with like 50 Uzbeks, things happen, brother. So not gonna do it again because I did feel pretty messed up.
Hey, Lance, you can. Absolutely. And 8 of them will cost you, well, it cost me, because I want to buy them, over 10,000 rubles. Okay? It's not happening. I'm not paying that much for them. But yeah, you can find them at Ozon.
What? $10? A container isn't worth $10 to you?
10,000 is not $10. It's more like $110.
10,000 divided by 100. Roughly.
That's crazy.
Okay. Let's divide it by the current exchange rate. Oh yeah, I'm off by one factor. $117.
You're off by a little bit. Yeah, I was off. $110.
That's why I use a spreadsheet for money transfers.
Well, if you're referring to Mexico, Mexico is in North America, but Mexico is referred as the backyard to the United States. I do follow the politics because I am a Mexican citizen. I've shown you guys before. I'm a proud Mexican, and I'm also a proud American, and I don't like how America treats Mexico like it's going to be its lapdog and do whatever it says. Lucky for Mexico, it's very strong now, in the sense that it doesn't have to listen to the United States and follow whatever it says. So hopefully Mexico can break away, join BRICS, and do its own thing. With this new trans. It's a new railroad that connects the Pacific to the Gulf, and it's going to make the Panama Canal obsolete. With this thing going up, I mean, Mexico has an ace in their hands. It can invite any country it wants to do business in their territory, and China's really looking into it. We had a huge geopolitical discussion about China, but China is going to suck as much as it can from this deal in Mexico. So I think that Mexico is in a really strong position against the United States. I hope the United States stops trying to bully Mexico, because it's not going to take it.
So,
Yeah.
Lance, the 730 ruble mints that you are looking at are the gummies, and that is not what Eddie wants.
Yeah, but actually they do, now that I'm looking at it, because I'm on the site and I'm looking at icebreaker mints, wintergreen for 752 rubles. This is about little less than $8. Little less than $8 for this, that I can buy in the States for like $2.50. Yeah, I
Still
don't know,
too
man.
much. Yeah.
That's still too much, man.
So, Dan, when are you applying for your temporary residency permit?
I have to get my background check shipped from Mexico. I have to see if I can get it without being in Mexico. Then I will try to apply. But I don't want to do it anytime soon because I want to enjoy my freedom as a tourist. See, this is where you have to choose what you want to be here on. I really enjoy the fact that I don't have to worry about too much paperwork. I'll leave every 6 months. I don't have to. I think on a temporary residency, you have to show like income every year that you can sustain yourself. There's different things. I'm not ready to do that. I don't feel like worrying about that too much. I just want to do what I've been doing for the last 2 years, enjoying my tourism in Russia. Then maybe in 2026 is when I'm going to apply, unless something crazy happens and I need it.
So what you're saying, Dan, is that you have a plan.
I got a plan.
There you go.
Hey.
There you go.
I like this show. I want to
Yeah,
be an idiot more often.
Come more often, man. I know it's late for you, brother.
We do it every Sunday. All you have to do is stay up till
late
3 o'clock in the morning.
Just take a nap on Sunday afternoon, man. Let's see. This guy. Oh, go ahead.
Yes, we're saying that there is religious liberty in Russia. Some people will tell you will become an Orthodox Christian or you will not find churches here. And for that, that's BS. Joseph Rose goes to a Protestant church in Moscow. Here in Crimea, I know a Lutheran pastor that has a church here. There's Catholic churches around more than any of the other non-Orthodox ones, but yeah, you can be atheist, you can be Muslim, you can be Christian. So lots of things here. People aren't going to browbeat you over religion. Everyone gets along here. Go for it, Eddie.
Oh no, I was looking for something and I guess I can't find it, so I'll just put this one up. Suggestions for future content. What's similar in American culture and Russian? What can one talk about with Russian? So I guess what you're asking is a show about the differences between American culture and Russian culture for a Russian audience. Is that what I'm understanding? Because that kind of sounds what you're asking. And I think that's probably a good idea.
Yeah, I mean, we can talk about that. I think we can do a whole show on that. I think we should put that in the dummy queue.
That'll be in the to-do list.
And Evan, I didn't want to offend anybody. Yes, there are actually Jewish synagogues around here as well. We've got quite a few in Crimea.
In Irkutsk, I made a video where I walk for 15 minutes, and I started at a Catholic church, walked to a Orthodox church, walked by the synagogue, and then I walked to the mosque in 15 minutes in one street in Irkutsk. That's why I'm telling you, in Siberia, it's really, really that mixed. In one street, they had all those major religions. And we even had a Buddhist monastery, but I couldn't get to it. So, yeah, in Russia, it's really, really diverse religiously, like racially diverse, ethnically, everything. This place is like a real melting pot. When you hear about melting pot, this is the one.
Yeah, we have dueling bells here between the Catholic Church, the Orthodox Church, and the Muslim. Is it a temple or a mosque?
It's a mosque.
Yeah. Jeanette, you never know. I'm not Anglican. I don't know if there's any Anglican churches here or not. If you look hard enough, you can probably find one.
Yeah, definitely. It's more likely that there is that there isn't, because I feel that Russia does such a good job in adapting to things, like taking in other cultures, other religions. That's why Russia has like entire republics that are known for being majority other religions. Here you can go to entire oblasts that practice certain things. Like I mentioned earlier as well, like Buryatia, which is next to me, they're mostly Buddhist. You're going to see a lot of Buddhist things all over the place, temples and shrines and stuff like this. So yeah, there's more than likely you're going to find the religion that you're looking for.
I just typed Anglican Cathedral in Russia, and I've got St. Andrew's Anglican Church in Moscow as the very first thing that pops up. So
Cool. And we got this as well. Join the Telegram channel. It was a very good idea to start this covering all topics. Importantly, compliments to you all for working together for efficiency rather than independently. And a big shout out to Dan, man, for that idea. What was your idea, man? How did that come about, man?
I woke up one day, and I think when I did it, it's because I'm already in another forum, but it has nothing to do with Russia. It has to do with news. And I realized that my friends, my really good friends, know so much. And I know people are really selfish on YouTube. And I even saw a comment that says that I'm like a bully, but I think it's just because my character is really strong. But the idea came because I had really good friends who knew so much. I know Kevin knows so much, but I know that his audience wasn't, and I'm not going to say this to offend you, Kevin, but like your channel wasn't as big. And I felt like if I could bring people to him, that he could be a better teacher than me. So that's why I want to gather different teachers and put them in that channel, in that forum, so that the people can get good information. I'll do my job, continue to help bring people in so that they get to the right person. And that's the reason why the forum exists. So if you're in the forum, you're going to be with the best people in the YouTube community. And I know that these other expats have their own channels, but they're not really talking to help people. They're trying to promote their videos. What we're trying to do here is get you to the right help, get you to the best help, and get you to the most friendliest help. Because in the end of the day, one of the rules in that forum is to be good, like be friendly, be a good person. So that's how it came about. I wanted to help, but I wanted the right people to help.
Awesome, man. It's all about community, brother. And that's one of the things that that I love about you, bro. You're all about bringing people together. Thanks.
And Artyom, see, we have an Anglican in the audience. He invites you and your family to come visit them.
Thank you, Artyom. And we got another super here from Brian Reinhold. Thank you. Thank you so much. And what's the crime like in your areas? Do you even know about it? So,
You guys go first.
man, I can tell you, Brian, you run more of the risk of being run over by a guy on a samokat, on a sidewalk in Moscow, than random petty theft or some sort of assault. Now, a samokat is one of these little electric scooters that people rent. Okay, they're all over the place. They get to the point that they're almost a nuisance because you don't hear them and they just come right up on you. And yeah, and if they hit you, yeah, it's going to hurt. But the first thing they're going to do is like, oh, I'm sorry. You run more of a risk of being hit by someone on a samokat than being the victim of a crime. That's Moscow. That's my experience. That's what I got to say.
You know, my experience in Moscow is when we're there, we stay at a hotel that is right outside the Kremlin walls. We like it because it's central to downtown. A couple of our bank branches are there, but it's easy to get around everywhere. But we always, when we're staying in Moscow, walk around the Kremlin at midnight, 1, 2 o'clock in the morning, and you don't worry about it. In Crimea, we have petty theft here or there. You know, one of our construction guys had 40,000 rubles in his fanny pack, and he left it in his car on the seat with the doors unlocked, and somebody came along and grabbed it. You know about it. The police come, and but again, it's, you know, occasionally. I had a kid on a bicycle when we were chaining our new gate locked and putting a padlock on it. I'd take the chain off in the morning and hang it on the gate. Kid came by, he stole it. I just prayed that when he got up the street that he decided to lock his bike up with that chain and padlock because I still had the key. So, you know, it's stuff like that. You know, we've had an issue with one of our neighbors. He called the police. The police came out. And what did the police do? They talked to both sides, and then they scolded him for calling them for nonsense and told them that if he called them for nonsense again, they would arrest him. You know, it was just a threat. But here, the biggest issue is maybe a drunk driver or a Muscovite. Sorry, Eddie. The Muscovites are used to driving around their fancy 4, 5, 6 lane one direction roads at ungodly speeds, and they get into these mountain roads and they cause accidents. So,
And if you want to know about crime, I think I'm probably the biggest criminal in my town. And it's not because I want to be. It's just that there's a lot of things that I don't know I shouldn't be doing. But really, like, this town has 15,000 people, and it's so quiet. The Russian people do not believe in the me. They don't have the me syndrome. So it's more community based. And they know that if you are the person who's stealing in a town, they're going to run you out of this town. That still exists in small towns. So you're less likely to see crimes in towns like these. Yeah, you're going to see the drunks and they're going to be fighting, but that's not crime, you know? You're not going to see Grand Theft Auto or like larceny and battery out on the street just randomly. So no. And you would be surprised. It's known in Russia that smaller towns are probably more dangerous than Moscow. So just like I'm talking about crazy crimes, these drugs and stuff. Like Moscow is locked up, clean and beautiful. When I went there, I was surprised. I think smaller towns have more problems, like Siberian smaller towns, than bigger cities, because they really have the big cities on lockdown. They want it to be good. Where in smaller towns, they have less people to manage all the problems. But that's just my opinion. That's just what I've seen when I've traveled.
I can tell you that I live on the safest street in our city because we actually have working cameras. And when something does happen on our street or within view of our cameras, the police are at our house sitting in my office reviewing video cameras with me. It's just the way it works here. Janetta.
Oh, sorry. Just on the same topic. Let me just finish this topic so we can get off. There are cameras everywhere. Yeah, Raymond's saying that there are cameras everywhere. Russia has laws and they enforce them. Felt very safe at night walking the streets, riding the metro here in Moscow. Thanks for that, Raymond. But yeah,
we've got them all over Yalta too. So I just wanted to respond to Jeanette. My wife and I used to walk around Kiev in the middle of the night too. It was very safe then. I wouldn't do it today.
I've never been there.
Critical race theory and wokeism. What is that? No, it's not here.
Yeah, what is it?
No. I mean, I think that he's thinking like how we do in America, where we kind of pay attention too much to race, I guess, and we're always like, I don't know. I just feel like I think that's what he's referring to, like affirmative action and all those type of things that we have in America, and wokeism. And so Russia has liberals, but they're not like American ones. Even conservatives in Russia are not like conservatives in America. Russia does have extreme left people who are wanting to make a change in Russia, but they're not. It's not a popular thing because Russians are not like that. The woke does not work in Russia, not because it's a dictatorship or the government is pushing down on it. It's just the society here is built different. You have to remember that not everyone drank the juice for 200 years. America's been on the Kool-Aid for like at least 100 years. So wokeism is going to work. Russia is not even wanting to see the Kool-Aid man. So it's how it is. No wokeism.
Yeah. Very well said, Dan. And thank you, Evan, who loves watching people on YouTube tell the truth about Russia. Do us a favor, Evan. Share this live stream. Share it with your friends. Share it with your family. Social media. Would appreciate that. Thank you.
Yeah, I don't know where the question went to, but somebody had asked how long each of us had been doing YouTube channels and why we started them.
Oh, yeah.
It was my friend Gray. Yeah.
So, Dan, why did you start it?
I started because my mom wanted to know if I was alive or not.
I started mine because my friends and family back in the States were freaking out after the SMO broke out that I was going to be arrested by the police at random and just taken away and thrown in jail or something. And I started filming videos first on Facebook just to show them. And then later in December 2023, I decided to take it to YouTube.
Well, my channel is the oldest of the three, with the smallest viewership and number of subscribers. But
we got to turn that around.
Yeah, we need to turn that around. Eddie's been trying to convince me I need to change the name, so maybe we'll do that. But so I started mine just to show people that life here was normal. Having been a anti-Russia propagandist in the United States, I decided it was time to work for the other side and actually tell the truth for a while.
So you have a conscience after all.
I do have a conscience. I grew it when I got stuck in Russia over yeah, I've got a conscience.
Thanks, Wolf. Appreciate it.
I can't stand like when I see his name, because Edel is there's a name called Edelbert, which is what's like my name. My name is Adalbert, and the Germans use this EDEL or ADAL, and his name is really cool. And every time I see it, I have to just say Edelwolf. I don't even know if he's German, but Idle. You're in somewhere in America, right? Kentucky, maybe.
Oh, I think Kendall Edelwolf did say he was in Kentucky.
I always think about that song from Sound of Music. Edelweiss, Edelweiss.
Edelweiss, yeah. But yeah, you're absolutely right. They make it sound like when you show up in Moscow, when you first get off the plane, that you're going to get arrested and sent off who knows where, or you're going to get harassed by the police. Yeah, it's total rubbish.
I don't even know who's saying that anymore. For me, it's I don't know. I never fell into the trap of thinking, is Russia a scary place, or sanctions. Maybe it's just because I'm an ignorant Mexican American. To me, I didn't even know Siberia was Russia. Like when I tell people that, they don't believe me, but I didn't even know Siberia was Russia. So my mom, I've told the story last time on Eddie's program, my mom was the only one who was worried, because she's Mexican, but she grew up in the 80s in America, and she learned about the Cold War through living in the 80s in America. But none of my friends could probably show you where Russia is on a map. Nobody in California is like thinking about Russia is a dangerous place, because they're too busy working. The majority of Americans have such a hard life because they have so many things to worry about. And if you
they don't even think about it.
Yeah, there's so many people on here play on that. Is Russia's a scary place? Nobody's thinking that. And if you're thinking that, you're in a weird little capsule. You need to get out of that, and you just need to enjoy life. Russia is a normal place. I don't think Russia is any different than like visiting Spain or Italy or anything like that. Like Russia in recent history wants to separate itself from the West. But if you go to Moscow and St. Petersburg, Russia's the capital of Europe. It is the most populated European country. It is the most largest European country. It is the most cultured European country. Like you're talking about the leader of Europe, in my opinion, and it should be everybody's idea.
I did. I called Russia the best country in Europe, and I got a lot of hate over it.
The Russians don't like that, but they have to stop with this. Like Russia should be proud that it is the greatest country in Europe and in Asia.
Absolutely. Who's going to answer this one?
Yes, it is true that food in Russia is non-GMO and supposedly organic. However, there is a caveat. GMO is a genetically modified organism. Russia does have what is called a genetically, I don't know, it's a different 3 letters. It's a different modification to the gene. So technically it's not GMO. Most of the food here is organic and non-GMO. You go to the store, you buy milk, you put it in your refrigerator, it will go sour in about 3 days. You buy apples, you're going to get them with the dents and the bruises in them. You know, you
I
buy
love the food
meat,
here.
you need to eat it because it'll go bad in a few
Or
days.
freeze it. Freeze it
Yeah,
immediately.
or freeze it.
Yeah, I
So
love buying bread.
Don't do a Costco run here.
Yeah, you don't go and buy, big, large quantities. Bread even comes in small little packages because
Yep.
it's just enough for you to eat for a couple of days, and then it's gone. Because you could just go to the bakery and buy fresh bread every day or every other day. It's wonderful. Love the food here.
It tastes like it's supposed to taste.
Yeah,
Tomatoes
very good.
taste like tomatoes. Cucumbers taste like cucumbers. All I can think of is you could never, if you closed your eyes, you couldn't tell the difference between the two in the States.
Thanks, Mary Wills. But have you seen Daniel and Ksenia's wedding? Because they did that one live. Mine was taped because I was too nervous getting married, and it was such a busy day that I didn't even want to mess with filming or doing anything, but I still made a little film.
Yeah.
Go check
Dan's
out
was good.
Dan's.
Even the behind the scenes, why don't I get a stamp?
Yeah, exactly. All right. What else we got?
No.
I think we're down to, that's it.
That's it.
Wow, guys.
Okay, 2 hours and 17 minutes. We went over our 2-hour mark again, Eddie.
Yeah, it happens. It happens. But hey, brother, thank you so much. I'm glad you decided to join in, man.
No problem, guys. I'll sign off first. I want to just say thank you, guys. Please give it a chance on this Telegram forum. It's for people like Eddie and Kevin. They are great people, part of the community that I really adore. And if I have the time again in the future, I'll hop on and be an idiot with you guys. Good night.
Appreciate it. Good night, man.
Good night, Dan. Thanks.
All right, man.
He is so humble. I want everyone to know that Dan put the work into this.
Yeah.
So
he's authentic. He's the real thing, man.
Yeah.
And he put a lot of work into it, like Kevin says, and go in there and join the Russian experience. All right. Well, my friend, I think we've answered all the questions, and maybe we came across as dumb idiots. Who knows?
I is an idiot.
All right. Well, wild-siberia says he'll sleep now because he has a shed to build later. Yeah, we want to see the video of that, brother.
Oh,
all right. We have one question. Can I bring gold souvenirs into Russia? You want to take that one real quick?
Sovereigns, not souvenirs.
Oh, sovereigns. I'm sorry.
Yes. No. And the reason I know this is I just talked to somebody about this who is planning to pack up everything they have in the United States and move to Russia, and they've liquidated everything and bought a bunch of gold coins and silver coins, planning to, I guess, fill their pockets and fly over here. Russia does have a limit on what you can bring in gold jewelry, and any other gold, if it's over a certain amount, they will confiscate it from you, and B, it has to have a marking from the Russian Federation that certifies it. So do not bring gold with you. Sell it, purchase cryptocurrency or put it in your bank account, have it moved into a Russian bank account, because
But
yeah,
but you can purchase
you can
coins and
here,
sovereigns and stuff like that here. Absolutely.
yeah, but do
So
not
move
bring
your
it with.
money and then buy it here.
Jeanette, I'll say this. You're thinking about 2 coins. Legally, you cannot bring them, so I cannot encourage you to do it. If you get away with it, I don't know, but I wouldn't encourage. We don't encourage anything that goes against the law. And no, Vimax, I'm not afraid of being blocked by YouTube.
No, you know, I'm going to address that here in a minute, but yeah, First Corinthians, I will check that out. But oh, wait a minute, where am I? I don't go through life being afraid of anything, of anyone, and neither should you. But yeah, you want to block my YouTube channel? Go for it. No big deal.
You know, Russians have this saying that when your day is due, when God decides it's your day, you're going to go no matter what you're doing. You know, I have a buddy in Kerch whose grandmother told him, just make sure you're not on the plane when it's the pilot's day.
Exactly. All right, guys. Well, thank you all so much for joining with us and being in the live chat for 2 hours and 21 minutes. God bless you all. Thank you so much. You all have a good evening. Kevin, any last words?
Our enemies will not pass.
Will not pass. All right, guys. Y'all have a good night. Go. Exactly.
You'll find us
All right.
both out there if you have questions.
You got it. Okay. Hasta la vista, baby.